Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Today will be our last budget work session for the council to finish up some discussions that we have amongst ourselves with the budget, and then we have the budget adoption set for tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the courthouse. So we have a couple things here. I think where we left off, we had, let me find it. There it is. We had 143,715 the levy funds. And I personally believe a lot of that is because we moved that vaccine reimbursement money. If you look at those, if you have that information, it looks like the general was $78,036 over. The reassessment was $2,689 over. Hume Bridge was to the good $48,434, and then health was to the good $176,006. So we need to figure out what we want to do with that.
There is a slight correction on Hume Bridge, if you guys see that. Hume Bridge, the max levy is $465,664,
I think I had that.
That's what it was.
and the budget.
Oh, compared to the
Oh,
one you
yeah.
sent the other day.
Yeah.
We
And the
had the right one though, I think.
and the miscellaneous revenue is $127,928.
Oh. I have 963.
Yeah. So there was something changed in there. So that puts them in to the good
127,928.
127,928. Yeah. So that's in excess of, or no, they are two things. Sorry, I said that wrong. They are in the good 48,399.
48,399. Okay, so just changed a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but
So
nothing.
then the total is, the
Yeah.
difference went up.
And
Why
Hume-
didn't they go up?
So you've got 486,900.
It would go up.
If you increased it, it should have went up.
Yeah.
wouldn't
48. Okay,
You
so
took
you've
it
got
down.
it should go down.
You took it out. You took it down, but it should go up, right?
48. Okay, so that max levy is 465,664. Circuit breaker is 58,293
Subtract that. Yep.
plus 127,928.
it? Or did you go down or up on that?
I don't remember. I've got it.
It went up.
I've got 48,993 or 48,399.
Okay, so this estimated this revenue went down, not up.
Correct. Yes, because it went from
Okay.
63 to 28. I don't know.
Okay.
That'd be right.
But we have that.
So
So
48,399 is the correct.
Yep.
Remaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
and Hume Bridge is rate driven.
Yeah.
You cannot, Hume Bridge and Hume Cap are both rate driven. So you can change that, but you have to redo everything as far as a public hearing, changing everything
Yeah.
to reallocate and all that. Same way with the general, the reassessment and the health. If you see down in that second chart that I sent you guys, the advertised levies that have a little bit of inflation, that gives you the opportunity to do a little fluctuating and moving things, but you can't go above those. You can't put the money from property tax that received more than what the advertised is. So you can't put more of your property tax revenue in general of 4,136,720 unless we re-advertise, do another public hearing, have 10 days later. And that's why I explained in that email that you do have the opportunity to change them. It's just a little bit of a process and we're getting kind of late in the game.
You just took off $35 there, so we'll just take that off the 143,715.
Yeah.
All right, council.
So that was what the difference was between as far as general, the 78,036 and then the 3,076 is because that's the inflated where you're able to move stuff around.
I think the whole time, we have worked off the estimated max actual, not inflated, so I would like to.
Off the
Stay
non-inflated?
off of that, yeah, just because, I like that we have some flexibility, but we don't really know, I guess, still. I mean, I guess that's part of what the DLGF looks at and says, okay, if you're over some, or, that's part of your cash, that you could potentially have, so. So if you just want to change your number down here, it just went down a few dollars, so 143,680.
680,
Yeah.
which is what
Yeah,
you
right.
guys have in your email that I sent yesterday.
I just didn't update my sheet with all my notes on it, so. Not much of a difference, but, so we have that. Something else there was one thing I wanted to ask you, Chris. Omitted property audits, we had 58,000 set aside from that we were going to use for juvenile detention, to put with the 92,000 to make the 150, but what is the situation with the omitted property audits? Can we use
Okay,
it,
so
not use it? What's
The omitted, Fund 1177,
Mhm,
which has 58,147.84,
mhm.
can be moved to general,
Okay,
okay?
so we can use it for
Yes.
what we wanted to make up in the
Yes.
juvenile
Okay.
detention. I don't think that's what we call it, but that's what I call it.
Okay, say that again, you want to put it in what, you mean the popper? Or
No,
what?
the juvenile, the
Care of
care,
institution.
yes, I call it juvenile, but it's the care of institution. So what we had done is I had notes in my book here that we took that down to 98,000 or 92,000, and I couldn't remember why, because it was originally 210, we took it to 150, and then it was down to 92, and I thought, what in the world is that? But then there was another note in my book that it was because we were gonna use 58,000 from the omitted property audits to put with it to
That's
make the
gonna go
150. I just didn't have it on the
So
right.
that still goes in the
So-
general, it goes in the general fund, that
Yeah,
would just
we'll just
offset
move
the appropriation.
It's just cash that we'll use towards it,
So
but,
I had notes that we were gonna transfer 1177 to general, so that would be what that was.
okay,
To
for
offset.
that purpose, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll
Um,
just be in the general
Assuming that's
fund.
okay, did you check into that and omitted property audits?
That one's fine.
For one, it's all our money. For two, we can use it for that purpose, or what do we
Yes.
need to do to take that dormant account?
We just have to, you guys have
Is it a
to
transfer?
list it up, we'll have to, in a public meeting, do it as a dormant account and do the transfer, but you and I talked about that, we weren't gonna do that in September, we were gonna wait till after that.
Yeah, it's okay
Yeah.
just between now and then, but I just wanted to make sure,
Yeah, it's still
first of all, that you
100%.
check that we can use it.
Yeah.
Second of all, whatever process.
And then the other fund you guys talked about, 6203, which has 95,000 in it. That is lit property tax relief that was received. We basically are ahead of the game in stopping that because we don't get any more of that. So that's why that money's just been sitting in there. But if anyone at the AIC conference, they reiterated exactly what DLGF had talked to me about when I called them on this and said, Fred Brendor, actually Comptroller's office, Fred Brendor, which is now, who used to be at the DLGF, we're ahead of the game on that. And as far as where we stop, people have to stop now because they're doing away with the property tax relief. So there will be a process of moving that, distributing that out.
So we don't need to plan,
No,
I don't
it
think
just-
we need
we
to plan
can't
on that
plan on
right
anything.
now, because
That's
we
not
don't know what
ours.
it is, we
Yeah.
don't know what the numbers are. It's something we
Yeah.
can do something with later. We know we're gonna have some portion of it, but
It's not all ours.
no, and we need to go through that process
about
correctly.
50% of it is ours.
I would say, yeah.
50 to
So they basically advise, hey, sit tight, something's gonna be coming out because this is actually something that a lot of counties are gonna have to be doing as they've done away with lit property tax relief, but we just did away with it a lot
We'll
sooner.
just get that cleaned up.
Yep.
After the
So-
budget. I mean, that's something we have.
Yep.
We'll look at, but we do have several things.
And I've got the other fund. Did you want me to tell you about the other fund? These were notes on
What
funds.
is
7350, which is the city/towns ordinance fines, which had about 75,000 in it. I don't have the exact balance written in my notes. But this is money that has been collected since 2019 with no disbursements on it. We've been working with the clerk's office and the State Board of Accounts in trying to basically, when they turn in their report of collections each month with this, you can see the amount that they're doing. They need to be giving us a breakdown from their Odyssey report, telling us of that amount, how much was from a fine from Cannleton, from Tell City. So those are court fees. So we're working on doing all of 2025. And then waiting to hear back from the State Board of Accounts on some guidance because of the amount of work it would take to go all the way back to 2019 to figure out an exact amount. But this is basically just fines and fees collected.
What was happening prior to 2019? Were they doing it right then?
I don't know if it's a new fund. I don't know if it was in with settlement. I thought maybe this was something that's supposed to be being dispersed with settlement. And just wasn't, because we've got fines and forfeitures and all that we disperse on there. So, again, this is not our money.
Yeah.
But there's funds that Lisa can vouch, we've got a report. That was something in 2025 that I wanted to work on, that there's looking through all the funds that have had no activity since I've been in office since 2023 to try and figure out. Most of them are grants, so we're trying to get in contact with the departments that these grants, but these are a couple of them. Those are 3 right there that are not grants.
Yeah, I think we can work on clearing those up and going through the proper process and steps to figure out what each one of them are, what do we need to do to zero them out and move on, because there's a lot of dormant accounts, so.
Yep.
So council, what do you think, well, we have that, okay, sorry, I got off track here. We have the 143,680, so, I mean, I think we should move the vaccine reimbursement back personally, but, there's a couple reasons why I think this. We all know, we've heard discussions at conferences and talked to legislatures and seen the articles all over the news that, they drastically cut the HFI funds this year. I think they for sure have them in the works for 27. I personally don't think they're gonna extend this past 27. And, I mean, we don't know that, but it doesn't sound good. The vaccine grant went away that we used to fund a portion of salaries. That got moved to the HFI. If the HFI goes away, we're not only gonna be faced with the salaries that are coming out of there with the retirement and the insurance, but we're also gonna have the, any vaccine supplies that they need, vaccine expenses that they're using in there right now. Office supplies, I know that, because if you look at the health budget, it's mainly just their base salaries. They're part of their, well, actually a portion of their salaries, and then the rest of it's coming out of HFI. And I'm not saying we can fund everything in the HFI. It's a little over 100,000 now, I think, Tori, is that what, somewhere in there? I'm not saying we can fund all of that, but there's a majority of that that's gonna have to go somewhere. And if we don't have health cash or vaccine reimbursement cash to get us through until, if that would happen, if that HFI would be taken away, we're gonna have to have something for a few years until they figure out if they're gonna bring vaccine reimbursement back. Are they gonna bring that grant back? Are they not gonna bring it back? Are they just gonna leave it on the counties? Because, we know we have to have that as part of our health department. We're not gonna do away with allowing people to come here and get vaccines. So, we're still gonna have the staff. So I think it would be wise to kind of keep that as a reserve instead of moving it somewhere else or using it somewhere else.
I think those dollars need to be used for health.
Well, you really don't have any
Yeah.
choice,
Yeah.
because you can't move them anywhere, and if you don't move them back to the health, it's gonna lower your max levy.
Yeah,
That's what I emailed you guys yesterday
We
saying.
need to, I think that it would be wise to move that back. If we do that, what was it, 156,000? I think it was
Times two.
156,892, is what would go back, I believe.
So it'd be 313,784.
Yeah, so their total would be 313,781, I think.
784 is what I got.
Is it?
It's because she's got 92 and you're using 890.50. It's
Oh.
a true half.
Oh, sure.
She's
Yeah.
rounding or whatever.
Yeah.
Is all that is.
Oh, so
Yeah,
mine's
it's a
wrong.
true half.
Well,
Okay.
not necessarily.
313, I just had 313,781. So that would make us negative 13,174, which we don't want to be. I think, David, did you look back on previous budgets?
I know
And
we
you
have
said-
made adjustments before.
Well, didn't you say something about you normally go over the levy about $2,500, $2,000, $3,000, somewhere in there?
Each fund.
I don't really know the total, but what the reason is for that, but, you had it in minutes that you have that shows generally the total levy that you're over is somewhere around 2,000,
If you
2,500.
go back, look at the minutes,
Okay,
of all funds, it's usually that.
okay.
I don't know why
So
we
if
do
we want
that.
to stay consistent with that, again, I don't, Do you know the reason why they did that for years and years and stayed about 2,500 total
Because it's
over levy?
cushioned and plus it goes off of your previous year. So if you don't use it, then you're not gonna get your 4%
So
on
that's
top
why
of
they're
that.
trying to
You
stay
try
around
to, yeah, you wanna use every
2,500.
minute of it and go over it.
Yeah, so we look like we don't actually need it, because we do. Okay, that makes sense. So, something that I thought of, it just as an idea, is if we want to look at the health fund, 1159, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, if we wanna look at the health fund and get this 13,174 down to closer to the 2,500, we could lower the insurance by 11,000. Just group insurance, instead of taking a salary and having to do that, is just take the group insurance, because we do have a position open. We don't know what people are gonna do with their insurance, there could be some flexibility there. Take that down, and if we took 11,000 off of that, it would bring it down to 302,781, which would put us total at the levy, being over, I think, 2174, if I did the math.
Which one are you wanting to move down? Cause I know you guys,
The health, well, I'm just suggesting this.
oh,
The
just
health.
the total. I think you didn't
Yeah,
say
the-
a line item, okay.
The health, if you go to the 1159 and we take group insurance, subtract 11,000 and just take it down to 11,000, I think it'll take us, and check my math, David, but 302,781.
Well, it's now probably 2139 with that adjustment that was made earlier on,
Okay, yeah, 2139, yeah, sorry. So it would take the health down to 302,781, and then the total levy funds would be just over 2139.
So 37,127 is what you're wanting to do in group insurance? Taking off 11,000?
No, it would be the total group insurance, because if we put the vaccine money back, we'd put all the health money back.
Oh, because we got.
Yeah, because you're just doing half, right? Because
Yeah, I
you're
gotta
looking at half,
change
sorry.
that, okay. So published.
I think. And then that would get us where our levy is, we're just 2139, David?
that's what I,
All right,
Okay, so we would be 2139 over on the levy funds.
That's what you meant, okay.
Does that make sense?
they.
And which is where David says we're usually 2,000 to 2,500 over, so. Is everybody, what do you think about that, or do you have
I'm
other
on board
ideas?
with that. I'm on board.
I'm on board.
All right, so this goes up to 36. Let us get our numbers. up
Assuming
to
my
date.
numbers are right, yeah.
That, let us get our numbers.
But I think that's a good way to, we have a lot of things, I wrote down some of them, that, this budget is tough. I mean, we have, just in general, we had over $2.2 million we had to either move or cut or take from cash reserves, to make that work. And so I don't remember, now I didn't go in all the budget sessions in years past, but this sure seems abnormal. David, did you ever have to cut $2.5 million,
This is not-
$2 million dollars?
I was on before
Out of
2010,
a general fund.
in the 15, and this is unreal.
Yeah, when I look
how
at
much we had to
past
cut.
meeting minutes, it's, several hundred thousand. There was one that was like 500,000. But I thought 2.2 million, that's nuts. I mean, I feel like we've.
You have to take into consideration,
So,
that-
that's.
you have to take into consideration that from
Okay.
24 to
Chris,
25.
I apologize, but can I finish?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were done.
Yeah. So we have that 2.2 million that we've had to cut, which has not been easy. And we need to also keep in mind that we have had to use a lot of cash reserves to even get to where we're at now. So I did some figuring. Again, I might have missed something. This is just some things I jotted down when I went through my budget book. When I went through the rainy day that we're gonna take 30,000 from capital EMS, the clerk's perpetuation, we're eating into the cash for the half of the second deputy salary, the sales disclosure, level 2, level 3 certified, portions of that are in there. Enhanced access, we have cash we're taking out of that. Identification security, cash we're taking out of that for redacting technology. Plat book, we have cash we're taking out of that for half a tax deputy salary and 500 mapping travel. We have surveyor corner perpetuation, we're taking his entire budget and salary, I believe, out of the cash. Well, we're funding it with what they have revenue plus we need 13,969 out of cash. Travel is over 1,500 out of cash. We have mandated, raises and 2 probation officer salaries for 172,590 out of SAPS. We have 7,000 out of cash. Of course, SAPS is cash. We have $7,000 jury fee. I think we moved from the circuit court out of cash. We have animal shelter, 60,000 from a restricted fund that was moved off the general. That's not replenishing at a rate that we are going to be able to continue that. So, and then we have the 58,000 from the omitted property audits that we're using out of cash to fully fund the juvenile, what we think we need in the juvenile, $150,000 juvenile detention.
Won't be
So if we, yeah,
Repeated.
which is, it's not ideal and it won't be replaced. So at the end of the day, we are almost to $400,000. It's if my figures are right, it's around $380,000 in cash reserves just to make this budget work the way it is. On top of that, we have 2 police cars we have to purchase from somewhere. I think we've said we know where one of them for sure can come out of, which is the opioid unrestricted funds, but we still have to figure out the other one. There's some options, but again, all of that is cash. We're taking it from outside the budget. So you add in that 140,000 and we're over $500,000 in cash that just to make this work. So it's not ideal. We have unknowns. We don't know what's going to happen with EMS. We don't know what's going to happen with dispatch. I don't know,
new
There's
radio
been-
system that they have.
yeah, the radio system and all those things, plus the subsidy. I mean, I don't know. We still haven't come to an agreement with Tell City on what that's going to look like for the next few years. Are they going to say, take it over? We don't want to do it anymore. Are we going to come to an agreement with them where we have to pay more? Are we going to, there's just a lot of things that we've got to figure out. So I just, to get where we are, it took a lot of work. And so I just want everybody
To kind of back that up, anybody who went up to the AIC this weekend to listen to Larry DeBoer, the Purdue economist, look at this. He essentially described, or I'm going to describe what the Indiana Assembly was trying to do. They were trying to take the burden off of taxpayers in the property tax area. Okay, they came up with a plan, and through some sort of machination and late night stuff, they essentially took and gave the taxpayer the tax breaks that they were looking to do under property tax. So people wouldn't have to sell their properties or parts of their properties to pay their taxes. Okay, but the problem was they were going to phase this thing in. Well, the phasing in didn't give us any extra money. So we're faced with this budget, which is great for the taxpayers because, most people are going to get a deduction in their property taxes, but we don't have any additional incomes, and that won't happen until 2028. We got 2027 to look at too. So these cash reserves that we've sucked out of are gone, or a lot of them are gone, and they're not going to be repeated. And so we've got to think about the next year as well.
Yes.
We can't spend all our money this year and use up all our reserves, because then we won't have anything to work with to keep our operations going next year. And Larry DeBoer, he's a respected economist, and he couldn't tell us, every county is going to be a little bit different. But what he gave us the indication was that because Perry County has the Hoosier National, because we have less industry than a lot of other counties have, and the personal property tax will kick in 2027, which means a lot of businesses in the county won't be paying a personal property tax, just the large Wapakas, ATTCs, WebWheel, those guys, and the folks out at, Troy Industrial Park. So we're going to be taking a hit in that too next year. So we've got to be careful and not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. We got to hold something in reserve, because we're going to have a really tough situation again next year. We're going to go through this again with less money in these funds that we robbed a bunch of, or I say robbed, that's not the right term, but we essentially deleted, used them, turned them dormant and whatnot. But we did it. We took $2.2 million out of an $8.6 million request or $6 million in estimated revenue. There's no mistake. This sucks. Okay. But we're stuck.
Yeah.
The state assembly, I don't know if they're telling us we need to contract and get more efficient, or whether they compromised in the middle of the night and left us with no additional sources of revenue. But,
I'm just thankful that we do have some reserves that we can get over $500,000 out of, because if we didn't, then what?
and we had
And
5
so-
inches of rain night before last. How many culverts are washed out? How many bridges are weakened that we're going to have to spend $250,000 or $500,000 to replace next year if we have another 5 or 7 inch rain?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why reserves are important.
That's
I
why
mean,
reserves are important.
All planned for the future.
It is.
It's got to be planned for.
And, we do have some things like, I wanted to mention that I had some notes I wrote down, like Riverboat no longer has reserves going into it. We used to not budget the full Riverboat, and then it had a cash balance, and it just continued to grow. Now we're using the full revenue that's coming in. So it's not like that cash balance is going to grow unless, not with this budget anyway. So we have to be cautious with that. We lowered the health insurance premiums down to $1 million, which I think is fine, from 1.1, but we all know that the premiums are going to go up. So something's going to have to happen with that. So, we just have to be mindful of, we need to stay at that $1 million threshold at minimum. A pauper attorney, Judge Lucy had requested $250,000, and we just budgeted for the same. That's one of those kind of unknown things that we don't know. It could go up, it could go down. Seems like the trend is going up, but we could have a good year, we could have a really bad year. So we just need to be cautious of that. That's something that in juvenile detention, or I think we call it care of patients and institutions, but I call it juvenile detention. But those two things are things we have to fund. There is no, if you want to, or see what you can do. It's coming from somewhere. So if you go over those amounts, you have to know that you have to have cash somewhere to fund those things. So we have a couple new deputies that we have coming on. We have to send them through academy. That's expenses that are not in here that we know we're gonna have to work with the sheriff to come up with somewhere. Inmate housing is no longer active. It's gonna be zeroed out at the end of this year. And actually we're gonna have to pay stuff from somewhere else, I believe, because we budgeted some money in there for meals. So I don't think there's enough in there. We projected the revenue, but when you stop taking inmates, you're not gonna have the revenue. So there was a hiccup there, so we're gonna have to, that's gonna be no longer of use for us. And then, like I said, the vaccine reimbursement and the health fund, any cash there, I think it would be wise to keep it there, because we don't know what's gonna happen with this HFI, and we have to just assume that if that goes away, we're gonna have to have that money from somewhere. So if you don't wanna have to get it out of general to fund the general, then there's cash reserve there for that. So Pulse Point is not budgeted in here anywhere. I don't know how much that's gonna be, but that's an expense that we're gonna have to work with EMA or whoever to come up with. I think, these are just things. We have $60,000 we're gonna pull from an ambulance from somewhere. Ambulance money, I should say, not to buy an ambulance right now, but to set aside in that $100,000, because within this budget, we have $10,000 of HFI funds set aside. We have $30,000 set aside from ambulance lease in a different area to go towards that. It was commissioners, but we moved it from somewhere. We moved it from rainy day. We are depleting the small former rainy day is what I'll say. Nobody really ever put any money in it. As Corey pointed out, it just kind of sat there. So the $30,000 will go towards that. I view, and this is just my opinion, but I view the interest fund as our new rainy day, our true only unrestricted savings account. And although there's, several $100,000 in there right now, if you look at, your expenses and what if an oh crap moment happens and what could come up and what's going to happen with dispatch, what's going to happen with EMS,
All those
we
things
need
that
the
you brought up.
$60,000 from somewhere. We still haven't figured that out for the ambulance. What happens if we are the co-signers of the hospital. If something would ever happen, with that payment, that's $1.6 million that would come back to the taxpayers, and we don't have 1 year's savings there, so we need to continue to try to build that up, I think, but that's my opinion.
Those interest rates are gonna come down.
Yeah,
so,
but yeah, our
you know,
revenues are
that
going
was a
down.
windfall for a little bit.
I'm glad we have it.
Yeah.
Our interest rates, our revenues are going down and our interest rates are going down, which means the money that we're gonna get to put in there is gonna go
Go
down.
down.
So I say all these things because we need to be cautious. We're supposed to be fiscally responsible. We're here to look out for the taxpayers in their best interest. And I just think those are all things we need to consider in this whole equation, so.
And one thing that we talked about, you and what Corey had brought up, the fact that we had taken from the seeded fund.
Oh, yeah.
And essentially, that's not our fund to take from. That is the commissioners. And Kelly brought up the state guidelines saying that there's very specific purposes that those funds have to be used for, even though the money's not continuing to go in there. Okay, and the commissioners are in charge of that. So we're gonna have to adjust that to what we took, 13.5.
What was that for? 13.
I think 13.5.
I don't even know what you guys.
We took maintenance out of it, I think.
They did an additional appropriation for that, so the
No, in
commissioners
this
initiative.
budget, I think. It was
We've
in this
not done
budget.
anything out of CEDA.
We did.
Yeah, we did
We
13,000.
did all of grids,
We did it.
building maintenance over there.
And we need to probably back that out somehow
Yeah.
back into the general because,
I mean, you decreased appropriation somewhere, but we don't budget CEDA, so there's nothing listed as being moved to CEDA.
what
You might
was
have
it?
decreased a budget,
So look
or
at page
appropriation.
15 and 16, council, for the maintenance and mostly.
Page 15, at the very bottom line.
Liability insurance?
I'm sorry, that's what I was proposing, that this be made up. We've got to get there first.
It was some kind of.
it's probably at a courthouse, not 68, because if it's Greg's, it's courthouse.
What page is that?
160. I don't have page
Courthouse
numbers.
is 21.
21, thank you. Courthouse.
161.
Where did we move? Let me look at my notes.
Utilities.
Building maintenance.
Oh, building maintenance.
Is that what it is?
2,500.
Building maintenance for courthouse.
An annex and south annex, so that's the 13.5. Okay, so we need to put these back in somewhere. So it's 13.5, right? 10, 2,500, and 1,000, yeah, 13.5.
13.5.
So if we move these back into the budget, where can we put them, is the question, in general somewhere.
I'm sorry,
Would they have to stay in courthouse, or that we can move them in somewhere else like commissioners? Like, can we decrease somewhere and,
see, decreasing, on page 15, the bottom line, that's what I was referring to earlier, I'm sorry. The liability insurance number for the county commissioners that's just an estimate right there. And the previous number that we have that's close is 164.58.24. Randy couldn't give me a hard number on that.
I
He
can
was-
tell you that 200 is not going to be enough.
It's not gonna be enough.
Close right there. It's raised this year.
I thought he said,
We're barely there with what we funded.
We just met with
So you
insurance
can't
yesterday,
go-
so Randy doesn't know yet.
Randy.
We
doesn't
just
know.
met with insurance.
so that's gonna go up, really.
Fiddlesticks and
Yeah.
puddle-duddle.
Okay, so we need to, I guess essentially find where to put that
13.5.
if we put that 13.5 back,
That's in
it
general.
just makes it makes us over more,
In general.
which is
Probably
look
over
at it.
78,000.
78,036 plus.
Yeah, it's a total of 15,000, because it's 10 to 2,500 to 20.
So 91,536.
So it's not 13,500, it's 15,000.
Where's that at?
10,000, 250, and 250. 2,050. What is
Well,
it?
I had, we marked it down to 1,000.
250, huh?
I had, we took South Annex down to 1,000.
Oh.
Did anybody else know that?
Yeah,
I just had the requested, so.
Okay, so I have
have
10,000 courthouse maintenance, 2,500, building maintenance armory annex, and then
It's
1,000 South End.
It's 13.5.
So the original was 2,500.
You're
we're
right,
taking it
you're
down.
right. You just didn't have
Or
that marked out, I guess.
2,500.
You're looking at
Yeah,
something.
that'd make that, that's where you come in to 15.
So where do we want? Is there something we can cut in this general here? To lower that, put that back in? I might have any ideas, we need to look. Maybe at commissioner or something. Hmm. Let's see. We've cut a lot of commissioners, well, we've moved it, commissioners, I should say. We've cut a lot and moved a lot.
Please, goodness gracious.
If we put it back in, or something. Should've brought my laptop. Chris, do you have that spreadsheet open? If you put that in, it's like 91,536.
So the numbers I gave you of where you're at on each fund, is that the one you're talking
The
about?
levy funds, just look at the, 78,000.
I mean, if you have to move it somewhere, can you just drop down care of patients and institutions, just like you did the group health or the group insurance for the health department? I mean, that's just one of those things that you
Yeah,
know
we
you're
can.
going to pay. I mean, just to get
And
We
you can-
can,
the budget.
If it goes over, you'll have
Budget
to
balance.
get additional.
Additional.
It's just one of those
which
things
we
you're
still
gonna
have to
pay
do an additional if it
regardless
goes
of
over
what it
right now.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I mean, if you have
What
to
page
move
is that
somewhere.
on?
16.
16.
It's in the commissioner's budget.
Okay. It's right now at 92,000 because that 58 goes with it, okay?
Right.
Okay, so just decrease this,
Alright, so-
13.5.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
It just
Okay,
makes
so-
it look better on paper, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
realistic.
Ours was 78,500.
78.5, yeah. What, it's on page 16, right? Or
I'm gonna go to commissioners now, right?
78.5. Reduced
Yes.
to put, is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Reduce to put, the maintenance back in where it was in the other fund. So we need to also do this on page 16, take it, care of patients and institutions down to 78,000. Again, knowing that we have the other 58,000 that we're gonna put with this.
So we can move that 13.5.
And then-
So then I'm going back
Kelly,
to
did you say
courthouse. So I'm gonna go back-
And then add back in on page 21, 10,000 for building maintenance courthouse, 2,500 for building maintenance armory annex, and 1,000 for building maintenance south annex. So that'll change that total.
So on the commissioners,
78.5, yeah, let me get back there, I'm putting the courthouse in right now. 10,000, South Annex. That's it, South Annex is 1,000, right?
Yes, that's the one that was,
North is 25. Or two, why do I keep saying 2500? Got it, okay. So which one are you on?
commissioners.
Let me go back to commissioners. All,
So commissioners moved care of patients and institutions goes to 78,500 for a grand total of 1842560.
that's what I got. And then courthouse,
1842.
560.
Thank you.
Then if you go back to courthouse, location 161, I don't know the page number, Kelly, what's that?
842, 21, she said.
I've got 130,700.
1842.
13700.
Yep, 130,700.
13700. And that puts those maintenances back in. Is
Right.
everybody okay with that in the council here?
All right, so let me go get a total. on-
Anybody against that? Okay,
No.
Okay, so all locations.
all right.
So that keeps the total for general exactly the same. It's 6,089,000. Can we go back to health and get those totals so I can see where, make sure we're
Yeah.
on?
What page are you going to?
Health is 29, yeah.
You are so, you have these memorized, you're so good at how quickly. Oh, you got your little.
You have
She just
313,781.
knows. You're very good, Kelly.
313,781.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we drop, let's see,
What are you dropping group insurance to?
hold on.
I think it's 85,254.
She said 11 11,000 was the recommendation.
Drop it 11,000.
Yeah.
So 86,254.
85,
Oh,
254.
yeah, sorry. I'll blame it on the cold.
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, why are we dropping
85,
it?
254, because we're going to reduce that.
Let me see, that, do you get through? Let's do it and let's see where we're at. on
Towards the
our
total
levies.
levy, it makes you about 2,100 some over. Because David says that we always are around that range. Well,
On
the
each
minutes
fund,
of the meetings,
on each,
and David
on
says
each
we always
fund
do.
though.
So we're not exactly zero. Yeah.
We are the best.
85254.
No, it's, I mean, no, we need to do that. We need to be consistent. I mean, I'm glad we have that information.
Seriously.
So I don't think it's bad.
Are they all
Everything stayed the
I'm
same.
worried about
except
going to
for-
jail, David.
No,
of the?
Or
I know.
Requested.
No,
Women
back
in
to
the bus.
2028. Do you want those?
David, you're very smart.
He's used to
Ready?
being under the bus.
9816.
Does anybody have any objections to that?
49,804.
Corey, anybody? Objections to the 11,000?
88,
Removing it from there.
8893.
That's
I
nothing.
mean, there's some
36,
shifting there, so,
989. 47,859.
and there's still cash there anyways, if
All that.
it would go over. they
So
could
total
use some of that.
30278. Let me go to our max levy sheet now and see where that's at.
So if for some reason they would need a little more, they do have cash there that they could take it from. It's not like we're not gonna pay the insurance. They do have a reserve there.
It's 302781.
So
Yeah, but that puts you,
I think that if we do that,
yeah, that puts you.
would it be, I'm gonna read
David, isn't it per fund though? Because that's gonna cut your funding for health,
off these total. Cut our funding for health.
that amount, because you're under levy by 30, well, you've got,
It just goes in the cash, right? It stays, that's how they built up a cash balance.
but you're in the, you've got the revenue, as long as you're spending.
I think that's how we've gotten a cash balance in health to begin
We
with.
cut health in the past, I know. One year we cut it 10, I remember 10 to 855 or something like
But it
that.
goes in
It
offsets to
stays
the other
there,
and the
though.
add
It doesn't go anywhere else. It just will stay in that, is my understanding.
2209, that's what I've got you guys
Is that what it is, 2209?
all together.
Can you read down through there just to make sure I have the right things?
For which column?
Just go general and then reassessment and,
For the 78,000, like that?
yeah, if you don't mind.
Yep.
The new
Got
thing.
Over in general, 78,036.
Okay,
Over in reassessment, 2689.
Okay.
Under in Cume Bridge, 48,399. Under in health, 30,117, with a total over of 2,209.
what do you have?
I had 2139, I don't know.
You're probably still got the you have 27,963 for Cambridge, and it's 27,928 for miscellaneous revenue.
No, it's 127.
127,928.
Uh-huh. That's what I have, but it's not much different.
Well, what it was making it up, let's find it out.
I don't know.
Okay, so in your total budget, let's go over each column.
It's like $70 difference. Oh, it says $35, isn't it?
So your total, if you're off, okay, so total budget for general is
It's $35.
6,089,767. Reassessment is 132,226. Cume Bridge is 486,900. Health is 302,781. Okay, your max levy for general is 4,055,608. Reassessment, 134,443. Cume Bridge, 465,664. Health, 323,659, with your max levy total of 4,979,374.
It's the $35.
That's what I said, it was the
Yeah,
Cume Bridge,
that-
that 926 and that, yeah.
Instead of taking off, it was,
Yeah.
instead of adding, we were taking it off the thing.
So the estimated miscellaneous revenue for general is 2,463,822. Reassessment is 11,924. Cume Bridge, 127,928. Health, 49,756. With a total miscellaneous revenue for funds of 2,653,465. Then, like I said, the over is the 78,036 for general, over 2689 for reassessment, under 48,399 for Cume Bridge, under in health 30,117 for a total overage of 2,209.
So it's still 2,209, sorry. I copied it.
Here's that $35. Now, hold it. How did that change anyway?
I don't know, when I was looking the other day for, that, I don't know if it was a typo on this sheet, but when I went to the miscellaneous revenue reports, I was like, that, when Kelly and I were matching them up. So I don't know if something changed or
I
what.
thought something was a little different on that thing that you sent yesterday.
Yep, it was the Cume Bridge changed by $35. So I don't know.
Okay. So is there? I mean, I think that's where we need to be, right? Or like David was saying, we're usually 2,000 to 2,500 over. This is 2,209, so that's close. So you might have any other ideas, or do you want to discuss anything else, or
I think we're gonna go with this.
do you like it, or you?
Yeah.
I hope you don't like it.
I mean, I don't,
We put a lot of time in it.
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that had to be cut. There's a lot of,
Risks that are built
we
into
still
it.
have a lot of risks. We still have to have reserves for the next year, and we don't know what legislation's gonna do with this.
No, we don't.
They could change it to be in our benefit, or they could change it to not be in our benefit. Right now, 28 will be in our benefit. But if that changes in the next 2 years,
We only
we've gotta
know.
be able to shift and,
But the amount that it's gonna change in our benefit is not as much as we put in from our reserve.
oh, no, not in 27, but I mean, in 28, yeah. It will be a much better situation if legislation doesn't change in 26 or 27. I
We
mean,
only know
again,
what we know now. and go
that's
with it.
right.
And,
So,
we don't,
There's talk of them
That is-
going into special session in November.
which I think would be good, but.
You don't know what changes they're gonna make, but
Yeah, I know. So,
I just wanna say, we're not the only county like this.
No.
I literally have met with counties and everyone is having to check into their use their cash reserve. And we voice concerns that smaller counties like us don't have as much cash reserve as
Yeah.
larger counties. But
I'm thankful we have what we have though to get to where we're at here. And I still, even if we don't bring in a lot more next year again, who knows with, if they go into session again and they change it, or, where we're gonna be next year compared to where we're at now is not a lot different. And so unless they make it worse, I hope they don't.
Jeez.
But, so just have to keep all of those cash reserves in mind, that we can't just spend everything we have, because we're gonna need that next year, or we're gonna, some of these things were one time, one year we were able to use cash reserves, so we're gonna have to figure that out and adjust next year where we're gonna find these monies, so it's kind of a juggling act, it's a balancing game, it's not comfortable, I would say. I don't think anybody likes to make these kind of cuts that we had to make, but it's what we're faced with. And
I
so
do
we
respect
have
and
to do that,
understand
and,
that this is what your guys' tough job is.
Yeah,
But
no,
now-
I agree.
Now the effect is
Yeah.
going to be the
Yeah,
offices and the situations we're gonna be in.
I appreciate, all the hard work that everybody's put in. We've had to make tough decisions, things I don't like, but we're
Who
forced
could-
to do,
Who
so.
could like this?
You
This is
know.
just not right. This is just.
No, the cost of the judge covered, will that come back to us
Yeah,
again next year? too?
172,000,
Yeah,
that's
a lot.
another, a lot of these costs. There's several of them that
Yeah.
we may have another year of reserve to use, but we may not, so we've got a lot of stuff we need to be looking at, projecting
I
out.
look at it, the only options we had, raise taxes or cut people. And we didn't cut people,
No,
Yeah.
and I don't, that's the last thing it's gonna do, so. just have to work with what we got.
Does anybody have anything else or?
No.
If not, we can.
I'll have this
How
for-
will this work yet tomorrow? You'll.
So I will have this together for a verbal approval tomorrow.
Okay,
I want to make sure that we have time to review everything in the Form 4B. So we'll have to have a special meeting before the 16th, for signing.
okay.
So you guys can do a verbal adoption tomorrow if I am able to have everything reviewed.
Is that when you have to have it submitted by the 16th? Okay. So, but tomorrow can be, I mean, we can
You can do a verbal.
We can approve based on what we have, and if something changes, we'll come back, right?
Yeah. I just have to enter everything. I'm just not I don't want to promise that I'm gonna have the 4B ready for you guys to sign tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure everything, that's all manual entry.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that we have time to review it and don't want to rush it. You guys obviously were matching with our numbers, with our spreadsheets. You know, I put that spreadsheet together for you guys with, you know, where you're at.
Yeah.
On the max levy and on each fund as far as, so you'll have that, but just
So,
not the actual form.
We will, I need to also understand, is there something we have to do with the airport tomorrow?
You have to approve the airport.
But you'll have to send it to us, because I don't have it. It's usually in the back of this book, and I don't have it.
No, it's not, it's with the Form 4B. It's, you gotta do the CVB, you gotta approve the CVB and the, airport.
I have the CDV, but
Airport, they submit their own, on DLGF, and then I just print it and you guys approve it. Yeah.
so I can go on there now and get it and look at it, because I don't have it. I don't have any. I think last year it was in here with the solid waste and the CVB. You just put them in here, so,
It wasn't in the budget, but it was in the Form 4B.
well, you provided it to us, I guess
Yes.
is what I'll say.
Yes, I provided it to
I
you.
probably had it in my budget book.
Form B, yeah.
We'll need that. Trying to think what else for tomorrow.
Solid waste and, y'all,
Well,
cause you would
that's already
typically,
in here.
if you, or CVB, I
Yeah.
just can't solid waste.
Yeah.
Cause you used to approve solid waste and
Yeah,
airport
right,
and
that's right.
CVB. So,
And I'm glad we have CVV this year. Thank you guys for getting that, because was a struggle a little bit for the last couple of years, so I am thankful for that.
Well,
Yeah.
We went to the county level, so.
Yeah.
It's harder when you're trying to get a budget from the non-for-profit.
And
Technically,
we did approve the HFI at the last meeting, so that's good. That's the only other,
David.
Huh?
Okay, I want to make sure he's,
oh,
Yes.
reassured.
that we want to work on a wage structure for the, I think we said this early on in our budget sessions, we want to relook at the deputies and what their wage structure looks like. And so between now and the end of the year, we want to get with you to sit down to, maybe a couple of us or something, at least to put some ideas together to bring to the council on what we can do with that. So if you and Eric, I mentioned it to Eric the other day, and he said he'd be on board to sit down and help with that. If you're okay with that, we'll
Sure.
get a couple of us and we'll schedule a meeting and see what we can do.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry about that, I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah.
I have a question. Can I
So,
ask a question? When you guys went through the, I'm sorry, when you guys went through the budgets, I had 2 FEMA inspectors there, and I wasn't able to keep up with it, but there's some items in here that's been cut to zero, like it's listed as maintenance in our budget.
what you got, tell us the page number here, we got. Oh, you don't have it
I
yet?
don't have a page.
Yeah, that was the problem last time.
Yeah.
There's
The
no
maintenance is actually grader and maintainer and snowplow blades. It's not maintenance on the building.
Which fund are you
So
looking
you
at?
list on motor vehicle highway 1176. So unrestricted is what you're on, okay. So that is page 44 through 46. Steve doesn't have a page number. Okay. So what is it we need to look at here, Steve?
One of them was the maintenance.
Okay, let's find it. You got a lot of paper.
No, too many.
Me too. Is it this?
It's on page 46.
No.
Page 46?
$700,000.
Okay, so which one, Steve? 36,000, yeah?
Yes.
And it looks like we took it down to 120? Oh.
It's showing-
No, sorry, I'm on the wrong line.
Yeah.
36,000, we took to 5,000 from 10,000?
Yeah, that's actually grader blades, maintainer blades, and snowplow blades. It's not maintenance on the building or anything, and I don't know if you guys realize that.
Okay, greater blades, snowplow blades, not maintenance on buildings.
Yeah. And
360.
some years we have to buy more than we
36,000.
do others. We get carbide blade on our snowplows, so we replace them every couple of years instead of more often.
I was like 36,000, I said.
And are you getting any of those with your new things that you're looking to buy, or?
Yes,
Okay,
they'll come with blades on them.
okay, those three anyways, right?
Yes.
If you-
Then the tires was cut to 25,000 according to this. We order our tires in November.
What page are we? We're on Highway 1176 unrestricted.
We always order our tires in November, so we got good tires going into the winter for plowing snow and stuff, and I don't know if we'll be able to get by with that amount or not.
Where's it at?
It's on page 46, right above.
Very top.
Tires.
46 at the top.
22200.
Okay, 25, we got 25,000,
That's what I'm showing.
and you're unsure if that'll be enough?
Well, the tires have took a pretty good increase again this year. And, some years we don't have to buy very many truck tires, and some years we have to, it hits us like every other year where we have to buy a bunch of them. to have decent tires. The garage supplies was cut 1,000, but that's, that's stuff for the garage, paper towels, soap, cleaning, supplies.
Mm-hmm,
The telephone, I think there was some questions on that
mm-hmm,
last time. I brought a couple of bills here, like,
okay.
do we have additional things we have to pay on the telephone? Like that one's $920 and one for
What is
$840.
that?
That was, they said that our lines are gonna be,
Oh, labor install?
yeah, that's just for this amount. This is, due to existing disconnect and not supported anymore for 4 lines of private extension, so that's a.
These fully added.
Is this annual thing? Because they just redid it.
We have.
You're saying
we have that, just
unexpected things come up.
unexpected, yes.
Okay,
Like that one's $950, there's one for $846, that's, open endpoint security for our devices, it's required, 3-year coverage required.
well, I mean, these are things that if they come up unexpected like that, we will address them because we'll have to, you have to have that, right? I mean,
Right, yeah,
I
they
think-
have the phone and internet,
Yeah.
but that was, I know there's some.
but you don't know of
questions
any right now that you have planned, that these are just you're just saying unexpected things can.
about- Yes, well, I do every year with this.
Sure.
With this company, we have something every year that comes up. That was.
We got that one, yeah. What's this next one? Greater Blade, we got
That was
it.
Greater Blade, we talked about.
25-year-old building?
Yeah, our building, we moved in there in 2000 and we've never put a roof on it.
Well, we do have, if it's a major thing like that,
Right.
we do have the building
Yeah,
maintenance
I
major
understand
account, but if it's little things like your garage door needs a spring or something, that's kind of what that,
We've had,
I think you did have that. actually.
we've had several expenses on garage doors and some on the other side over there. And of course, we pay for the whole building.
But if it's something larger, it's something you can bring before the commissioners. If it's a very
Yeah.
expensive thing, not the nickel and
That
dime
was
thing,
like
so
the AC unit on the EMS side, they paid for that, so it's.
That's a much larger expense.
And
What we got next?
equipment repair, I don't know, the old parts just keep going up and our equipment's getting older and
Mm-hmm.
it was cut from 170 to 120. I don't know if that'll be enough or not, I guess it isn't.
We were kind of hoping I don't know.
And I think there's some cash built up in here too, right? For if something would go over within your highway funds.
There's cash reserve within the highway fund that all you have to do is come back and ask for an additional.
Additional appropriation, yeah.
We don't wanna,
The software maintenance,
only if we have to.
that was cut a little bit. That's for our software program and our agreement on our copier, maintenance plan on the copier.
It was 3,000 this year, so did it go up or you just think it might and you don't know?
Probably gonna go up, I don't know.
Okay.
Seems like everything does every year. The new road equipment, when we talked before, I understood it was, or I thought we was gonna have 100,000 in one account and maybe 40 in another, and then, oh, I've got it in 3 different places and it's zeroed out in all 3 of them on this, and we do need new equipment every year, this thing.
Which ones did you have it in? Let's look at them, because I want to make sure, because I do see it zeroed out here, but I thought we had a note.
Well, it was in,
We're on, I know there was a little confusion when you came forward. Your sheet looked a little different than ours. Huh?
What page is
These
it?
are.
I'm on 46.
Zero out and.
46, 44105.
Huh?
46, page 46, 41, 44105,
equipment.
new road equipment.
Oh,
Yeah, but there's other areas to
Okay. Well, these,
What is it, local road and street or?
There's none in local road and street, equipment zero. I looked in surplus or will and tax, it's zero.
we
Local
had,
street,
yeah,
zero.
that was,
Motor vehicle highway.
Let me find out. You have that surplus in here? Sure, we don't have. It's okay, I have it. Got it? So what did we do with this?
that's
There's
completely
no,
out.
there's no.
I thought it was due to the new trucks that you were buying.
This year.
We took
And
it
your
off
new blades
for
and
this
your
year,
salt beds
and
and
so
all that stuff.
they removed it for next year because you're
Well,
paying for it
we
this year.
come up with a way we think to pay for the trucks out of this year's budget, but we're going, every year we have to buy equipment. It's like we had to buy an excavator this year. You know, we have to buy stuff every year. We have stuff break down or blow up, engine go out, something.
I think that's another, I know we've said this before, we talked about it, but we really do need to start looking at.
Yeah.
What do we need to set aside, at least something every year to
Right.
build up in a non-reverting fund that, where we have reserves, just planning ahead, just like all these other things.
But I will, I'm sure, you know, every year we have to buy something, some new equipment, you know, every year.
Mhm.
How's your road grades?
We got 2 pretty good ones, and one that's wore out about 20 years ago, still running. We can't buy, we had a drive chain go out of it in the final drive
Yeah.
this year, and I called to get parts, and they said this is the last chain that's gonna be available to the company, there's no more. So, you know, we're facing that with some different things.
I mean, if something comes up that you do have something that just completely breaks down and we have to do it, we do have some cash reserves here that we can, kind of like, you know, you did your wizard work and figure that out, how to move it around. And, you know, I don't think that's ideal for long-term planning, but
Yeah.
for next year, if something would happen. I don't know how everybody else feels, but that's
No, that's what we have those.
Kind of what we're facing.
I couldn't listen that day because of FEMA being there, so I didn't know what was cut for sure,
Yeah.
but I just want to explain what some of this stuff
I
was.
appreciate it. No, I made extra notes here from what you said, so thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Unless anybody has anything different with that.
We got a fund that needs.
That's just another reason
During
why
the
we need
year.
reserves. I mean,
Another
that's
reason
pretty
why
good
we
point, but
can't.
I think we need to work with the highway department on some kind of capital plan to replace their large equipment, because it's not cheap. They're probably the most expensive. So I think we learned that last meeting, didn't we? So, something to look forward to and work towards in the future here. So is there anything else that anybody has, or if not,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I mean, do we have to make a motion? We'll just adjourn the meeting and we'll be back tomorrow for the budget adoption. And Chris, you'll get us all that stuff and send out today.
Get what?
The
Stuff you
updates
talked
or,
about.
yeah,
Oh, the airport? I mean, I'll send the airport out. I told you that I'll get the updates. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I just not guaranteeing I'll have the Form 4B for you.
yeah, I just want to know, make sure I read the correct things tomorrow in the budget adoption. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, thanks, everybody. It is, I need to go.